it's just, man, it's like John Buscema is at the point, like with Barry Windsor Smith, like he had kind of had a bit of a weak point when he was doing Conan. John, I don't think ever had a weak point. Today I wanted to do a video on an artist that I don't believe I've covered much on this channel, especially in the way of Conan. And that artist is Big John Buscema. Debatably, the best Conan artist. One could argue Barry Windsor Smith, another could argue, of course, the great Frank Frazetta. But I always think of John Buscema when I think about Conan. Now, I've started reading, actually, finally, the original Conan series, but I picked up Savage Sword of Conan for when I finish reading some of the Conan stuff. I know there's so many omnibuses and so many issues that it's going to be impossible for me to read everything before reading and holding out that long to read Savage Sword of Conan. But I wanted to take a look at John Buscema, but I also wanted to look at him being inked by Alfredo Alcala, an inker that apparently Buscema did not like for some reason. Perhaps it was because his inking kind of overtook some of the stuff that John Buscema did because it's so magnificent. When I open up this page, I see this beautifully inked piece. The hatching that's going on there and the shadow going around the form of the figure. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And then the hatching that's going along the structures there, the buildings and the rocks, and all these great hatching marks. Now, there's a book, I think it's by Guptal or whatever. I think it's like about inking. It's like learning how to ink with a pen or whatever. And in that book, you see so many of these lines, and you never like to learn how to render things. And you never think that somebody would use every single method in that book as a tool to ink so beautifully. The sky has beautiful lines. The structures of the buildings have beautiful lines. The rocks have beautiful lines. The trees have lines. It's just, I feel like you don't see that much detail in a lot of comic books of this time, because I feel like a lot of it was kind of, let's get it out as quick as possible and make the money. And Savage Sword of Conan, I felt like, was, let's take some time. Let's put out the best comic book we can. And Alfredo Alcala is an unbelievable inker, doing things like speed lines here, and just these beautiful textures on the ground here. I mean, it's magnificent. But let's also talk about John Buscema as well. John Buscema is possibly one of the greatest figure artists in comics ever. Like, unbelievable when it comes to drawing with the figure. Just a beautiful, beautiful artist. I mean, if you go back to here, that's a beautifully drawn figure here. Man, God. And the thing is like, I feel like this stuff is nicer than the Conan stuff that he did on the regular series. But maybe it's just because it's in black and white and it's not being taken over by color. I mean, look at the shadow work there and the anatomy. Stuff looks amazing. Look at his X-Men stuff. I think he did a few issues of X-Men, I believe. And, no, he did Avengers, I believe. And then he did Thor. His Thor stuff's great. Just an amazing artist. I mean, I love the way he's just drawing that rib cage there. And it's just so solid, you know. And that's the thing, is like, when they talk about becoming an artist, I mean, one of the things that you have to do is you have to really understand form and make everything so solid, three-dimensional. And this guy, man, he's just, I mean, drawing beautiful stuff. And he's drawing stuff, I mean, this is comic books. I mean, this was considered trash at the time. I think it's still considered trash. But the idea that somebody's putting this much work into comics, and he never liked drawing superhero comics or anything like that, but he had some kind of connection with Conan, and he really loved it. And I mean, if this is just a guy getting a paycheck, my goodness, what would it look like if he was actually trying? And I really do think this is him trying as hard as he can, because I believe that he thought this was an art form, that a respectable art form. And how could one not agree with that? But the inking is beautiful. The figure work is beautiful. I mean, there's so much brilliant panel layouts and storytelling. I mean, John is not only a brilliant artist, you know, that's the thing that we kind of forget about, is also you have to be a brilliant storyteller, you know. And it's like you're going up against guys like Jack Kirby and things like that, and you got to be the best on your game, you know. It's kind of like if somebody's making a film in like the 70s, and you know, Stanley Kubrick is making these brilliant films, you know, Scorsese's got to make Kubrick level films if he wants to be considered legitimate in the industry. And you got guys like John Buscema who are absolutely doing that, and John Romita as well. It's another one. But man, great, brilliant stuff. I love that piece there. Just brilliant. Again, master of anatomy. Understands. And again, I mean, if you're going to make comics, you need to understand, you know, a bit of anatomy. But when you see a master of anatomy, it's unbelievable. It's never, not a single panel looks like he was just phoning it in. You know, and I think about Kentaro Miura, the creator of Berserk, and you know, it's just like he had to have known that this stuff existed. You know, had to have been inspired by this stuff somehow, because I definitely get that vibe when I'm looking at this, the amount of inking that's going on, and brilliant drawing. I'm a sucker for somebody who can draw a great horse, because I think horses seem like they're so difficult to draw. Beautiful horse. Great horse. Great, and I mean, a great composition there. You know? Brilliant. Yeah. My goodness. And the other thing about John Buscema is, like, John Buscema was doing regular Conan as well, I believe, at the same time or around the same time. It's like, how do you do that much work so quickly? Man, what a legend. I love looking at Conan. Conan is one of those books, man. It's one of those characters that, like, is right down my alley, because I think you have to be able to draw beautiful anatomy and beautiful action. And I feel like, I mean, look at that. I mean, this is beautiful stuff. I mean, you could take each one of these panels and put it on canvas and sell it as a piece of art, you know, in an art gallery, for sure. And the fact that people did not take this medium seriously, and still don't to this day, when you see this kind of work. I just imagine how somebody who doesn't like comics, or who is completely out of the comic book world, thinks about how comics look. Like, do they just think it's like children's drawings? I don't know. And then you see this mind-blowingly amazing artist who's doing such beautiful, beautiful work, and giving it his all, not even thinking about half-assing it. It's just genius. I mean, look at this camel. Who knows how to draw a fucking camel? You know? What a bizarre thing to have to draw. Looks like it's like half camel, half horse, because of the ears. Man, genius stuff with that fur too. The line work that's going into drawing that fur. I mean, look at this, man. This is the most metal thing that Buscema's ever drawn. His expressions are kind of funny, for sure. And it's so weird because it doesn't look like the stuff that you get in the regular Conan books. But, man, brilliant. So, anyways, guys, thank you so much. I'm so thankful for these reprints. Titan is absolutely doing brilliant work reprinting this stuff. I mean, you get so many great artists in here, and you know, it's not just Buscema. There's Barry Windsor Smith. There's, I think, Gil Kane might be in here. I mean, there's so many brilliant artists, and yeah, if you're a fan of Jesus, yeah, I broke the spine, but I might have to break it again. But yeah, man, there's just so many brilliant artists really in this, and I love Conan. I really do think that Conan's great, and I love looking at John Buscema's artwork. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and you should read some more Conan or Savage Sword of Conan, or look at more Buscema comics or something like that, because some great stuff.